Hi guys, it's Chris here from Lifestyle Entrepreneur, and thank you for joining us on the 0 to 100k challenge, episode 6. Now, in this episode, we are starting to look at the build phase of this project. So for the last 5 episodes, we've gone over the hustle phase, which is how do you take things for free? How do you take things from your home? How do you turn zero into that first pot of investable cash? So we can move on to this build phase. Now, hopefully you've got a little bit of cash behind you. And before we get stuck in, I'm going to share a few differences between the hustle phase and the build phase. So the hustle phase is very much about just getting runs on the board and money in the bank so we can start investing it into other strategies. Whereas the build phase is a bit more strategic, it's a bit more of the long game. And the only difference in what you're going to need for this is probably a little bit of storage. So when I say storage, I do not mean you need a warehouse. I do not mean like a whole room in your home. What I'm talking about is an understairs cupboard, the boot of your car, anywhere that you can put things, because you're going to have to hold on to them for a little bit of time, especially in this episode, which is wholesale to retail, while you buy stock, check it into your inventory, and then sell it on. And that'll make a bit more sense in a moment. Now, we've got an office that we're going to be using to put stuff in, but I have done this before out of the boot of my car. I've used my garden shed, I've used my loft. There's always places you can think of, and it might be a good opportunity to go through your house again, go back to the episode, the house overhaul, and see what you can sell, get rid of, things that are taking up space that you're just not using, to free up some space in your home or wherever it is that you need to free up that space in a garage or shed, but then also make a little bit of profit back in the hustle phase. Now, just because we're in the build phase, it doesn't mean the hustle phase isn't going to happen still. So we're still going to be doing all of those strategies alongside this, because although these take time initially from a little bit of time investment, it is a long game. These are going to take longer to generate revenue from, but it is the way that we have to go. So if we have a look at the monitor now, what we're going to do is I'll introduce you to how we're going to find these wholesale products. Now, the whole premise of this is we're going to take something that we buy in bulk and we sell individually, because that way we can make a profit. We'll get, because of the economy to scale of buying things as a bulk, we'll be able to then sell them individually online for a higher price, and that's where you'll make your margin. So the best place I've found to do this is eBay. So if we head on over to eBay, there's a few things that we need to search for. So there are 3 phases that we'll take you through. And the first one is if you just search wholesale, what you'll do is it'll bring you up a whole host of listings where you can have a look and see what are people selling in bulk that you can buy for a cheap price, and then you can mark up and move on. Now, there are going to be a lot of things that you find that just aren't worth looking at, and we'll take you through those as well. But if we scroll down the listings, let's have a look, see what people are selling. So we've got some t-shirts, brand new home gift items available, wholesale job lots, warehouse clearance. Now, a lot of these will just be listed big pictures like that. You'll think, oh great, I'm buying a warehouse full of stock. You're not, you'll be buying a box. So just be careful on the descriptions. Let's have a look and see where we get to. So here we go. Wholesale of job lot, 20 unicorn headbands. Now, I don't know about you, it's not something I'd wear, but I've got a daughter and a son. They're both very young and they're both going to a lot of kids' birthday parties. And I know at least one of them was unicorn based. So at the moment, current bid £5. We could get 5 lots of these unicorn, we could get 20 lots of this unicorn headband for £5 currently. Now, what do you think one of these would retail at? If we go to Google and type unicorn headband, let's have a look, see what comes up. Here we go. So Claire's Accessories, by the looks of things. We've got a couple of different ones here. They're about £5 a pop. Oh, there you go. That's the exact one there. So the Pride Shop, we've got £4. So again, if you think about how you could sell these, if Gay Pride's coming up, this is a perfect time to buy this, because if you list it on eBay for £3 an item, you're going to get interest. So if we work on the basis that this is an item that we might buy, and I am going to put a bid in on this, you would work on the basis that you can make from £5, you've got 20 units. So if we take those 20 units and sell them individually for £3, that's 60. So we've just taken £5, and just by listing it again on eBay individually rather than as job lot, we're going to be able to make that money. Now, the thing to be cautious of, obviously, is check the descriptions, make sure there's nothing wrong with them, make sure that they're all perfectly brand new, but that could be a good deal. What I'm also going to show you, though, is another one, which is This is a wholesale listing that I came across, and this looks like a great listing. So these are all women's like beauty products. We've got like nail clippers, we've got nail scissors, we've got makeup brushes, we've got fake eyelashes. And on the surface of it, that'd be a great job lot to buy. But what they're saying is you can buy 1, 2, or 3 boxes of this stuff for different prices. Now, the thing that I would steer me away from this, because these items you might be able to list quite easily and get your money back on. If you got 10 of the eyelash sets and sold them for £5 each, you'd be laughing. But what they say is this price will get you 10 items available from the pictures. Now, it doesn't say what those 10 items are going to be. So they might put 1 high value item in and 9 low value items in. So just steer away from it. You're not in control. You don't know what you're buying. But what we'll do is we'll go back to the searches. We'll keep looking. So we've found some unicorn headbands. Now, there's other things I'm sure in here. You've got some leads, some electrical parts. Again, this is like suppliers stuff that's gone. It says read description, so it's likely you'll get just a mystery box. Here's a good one. So candy set of each, 16 sets. I thought that might be Christmas related. No, it's not. So they're candles, so maybe not. Keep scrolling through, and what you're looking for is where you can buy, you know what you're buying, and it's just a job lot of an item. Face masks and detox wholesale. Let's have a look. So new mix lot of face masks. So this could be an interesting one. So these are face masks that people could buy. You might be able to sell these on Facebook Marketplace within your local market. The only thing I'd check is just make sure, so it is 8 of them, which is fine if it's a decent price. Current bid is 99p. I mean, I'd go for that all day long. And then I would have a look at the expiry date, so I'd check that out. But if you could win that for £1 and get, although it says 20 of them there, let's have a look. Face masks times 8 wholesale. Doesn't really give you information. It might be worth checking out and speaking to them, see what the crack is there with how many you actually get. But even for 8 of them, if you sell them for £1 each, you're turning £1 into 8. It's a no-brainer. This is how we're going to start to get those items to sell. Now, that was if you search wholesale. So that's the first term you can use. The next one is job lot. So if you put in job lot, it will bring you up. And bearing in mind, when you get more used to this of what sells and what doesn't sell, you can go into this and have a look at specific items. So you might go job lot electrical, or job lot switches, job lot unicorn headbands if you really decide that they sell well. But again, what you're going to find is some of the listings will be the same because they use the same description, but you will find items that just weren't there before. So there you go, job lot of Pokemon cards, brooches, a job lot of Amazon and Marketplace stock clearance. This is stuff people haven't been able to sell or they want to sell quickly. And the reason people sell like this, just so you know, is because they want money quickly. So they've bought something, they're not willing to wait for it to sell. So whereas we have the time to capitalise on the low cost, high return, they don't. They just need to get it out of their business because they're probably trying to buy other stock because they've made it onto another strategy. So job lot is another good one to look at. And then the last one, and this is when you've got a little bit more money usually, would be liquidation. So I think I've spelt that wrong. I also don't have my glasses on, which doesn't help. Yeah, there we go. They've spelt it right for me there. Liquidation. So if you're looking at liquidation stock, that was terribly spelled. This is where businesses have usually closed down and people have gone in, they've taken all of the stock and they're just trying to sell it because the business is liquidated. They can't use it. They just need to sell it on to recoup debts in the business or losses. And again, this is where you can find some really cool stuff. Now, if we have a look at, if we search this by price highest to lowest, this is where you'll find some of the big items where, let's have a look, liquidation. So bracelets, there's various things here. So wholesale lot of liquidation, educational toys for children, £5,000. Now we don't have £5,000 at the minute, but we will get there. So this is the sort of stuff that we might be able to buy. So look, there's bead kits. It looks like some robotic stuff. This would be great if you held like a car boot sale or had a market stall, or you just listed them online. But you can see how many boxes there are there. We don't know exactly what's in them. If we read the description, online educational toy store is closing down and selling all stock. The retail recommended price is £10,000. So they've priced all the stock up and that's what they believe they could get for it. You can get a list of all the toys. You have to pick it up, which is fine. But £5,000. So if we consider that their valuation is correct here, you could double your money by buying that. It would take a long time to shift the stock, but there's no reason you can't do it. But this is a strategy we'll share with you later on about how you go for the high liquidation. So we've covered job lot, we've covered liquidation, and we've covered wholesale. So this is what we're going to do to buy in stock for this strategy and start to sell it on. So I'll take you through a couple now where we found some good things. So this is the one that we said steer away from. This is where they're in control of what they sell. This one here, I think this one's pretty good. So this is a job lot of sockets and electrical switches. So this is another one we might bid on. If you have a look through, this is all boxes of different types of plugs and switches, and all you need to do is find a builders who are interested. And at the moment, you get 100 pieces for £100. Now, I think that's a good deal. It's a buy it now price, so you could probably put in an offer on this one where you can say, I will buy it now. Drop a message that I'm not willing to buy it now for £100, but I will give you 80. And if they're interested, they'll take it. Then you get an 80p a unit. All you have to do is sell these for more than £1 a unit, and you've absolutely won. Now, it looks like there are a lot of varieties of switching here. You can see two there that are the same. Maybe the one below and the one below that might be the same. So you might end up with only, we call them SKUs, so the type of stock. So you might end up with 50 different items in there or 20 different items. So then you can list them individually. Remember, there is going to be time to put these onto eBay. But what you have there is a brilliant example, again, of how you can just spend £100 on something, get boxes and boxes of gear, and you might be able to sell those plugs for £2, £2.50, which is a bargain to someone else, but you're making the cream on top, so you're doubling your money and some each time. And then this is the liquidation search again. So that's the strategy we're going to be working with, which is the wholesale to retail. And what I encourage you to do is start looking at these listings, do your research, start messaging people, and then depending on what space you have available, depending on your appetite for this, choose the ones that work for you, bid on them, get them in and try to resell them. Now, there will be times where this goes wrong and it takes too long to shift the stock. But the great news is you can just relist it using the original pictures from the listing on eBay and sell it for exactly the same as what you got it for. So there is ways to make your money back, so the risk is fairly low. And as we move through this, we will share more strategies on how actually you could do this and get the money back into your bank account to reinvest all within a day. So as an example, if we were to buy, where is it, the £100 job lot. There we go. If we were to buy this one, I've got a strategy which I'll share with you in a few weeks' time. And if you want to know it sooner, drop me a comment and I'll happily, I'll drop you a message and share it with you, which is we could buy this today for £100, have the money back in our bank account instantly, and still get the stock in our possession. It's an advanced strategy that we will share, but for now, this is what you need to focus on. Well done for making it this far. Please like and share in the comments. If you haven't already, download your transaction tracker. We're filling ours out, and we've got lots more to be listing. And that's going to keep you on track with where you are, what money you have available, and then what stock you also have to shift, because it will remind you what hasn't sold and what you need to push for different reasons. So thank you again for joining us. We'll see you in our next week episode where we're going to teach you how to make something to sell. Now this is, again, it's an advanced strategy. We actually use this for Amazon FBA, but I'm going to show you how to use it in your local community to make some money. And again, this is like evergreen money. It will just continue to make money in the background with very little effort. So thank you. See you again soon.